विद्यार्थी मित्रो, आज आपण या आपल्या यूट्यूब चॅनलवर मी जसं मागं आपल्याला उल्लेख केला होता त्याप्रमाणे केवळ माझीच व्याख्यान नाही तर महाराष्ट्रातील जे या संशोधनाच्या बाबतीत किंवा शिक्षण क्षेत्राच्या बाबतीत जे विद्वान आहेत, त्यांचा अभ्यास आहे, अशा काही लोकांची व्याख्यानं आपल्याला ऐकवणार आहे. त्यातील आज एक व्याख्यान आपण ऐकणार आहोत. ते आहेत डॉक्टर गुल्हाने. डॉक्टर गुल्हाने हे संत गाडगेबाबा अमरावती विद्यापीठामध्ये शिक्षणशास्त्राचे विभाग प्रमुख आहेत आणि ही विभाग प्रमुख आपल्याला व्याख्यान देणार आहे. हे यांचं वैशिष्ट्य म्हणजे यांचं संशोधन नंतर इन्क्लुझिव्ह एज्युकेशन याच्यावर मास्टरी आहे. त्यांचं आज आपण व्याख्यान ऐकूया. निश्चित आपल्याला या व्याख्यानाचा लाभ होईल.
Hello and welcome to this session. I am Dr. Gajanan Gullane, Head Postgraduate Department of Education, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati, Maharashtra. In the last session, we discussed the important sources of knowledge. In this session, we shall discuss the most important source of knowledge, that is research and applications of research in social transformation. One of the most important source of knowledge is research. Research is continuous and dynamic process. It is a systematic attempt to obtain answer to meaningful questions about the phenomena or events through the application of scientific procedures. Research is an objective, impartial, empirical and logical analysis and recording of controlled observations that may lead to the development of generalizations, principles or theories. Now we shall discuss purpose of research. The research is needed to unfold the truth through systematic methods. Constant search and research are essential to know exact truth, because with the passage of time, new facts may change, the problem may undergo change, and so also the concept. The main purpose of research is to find out the truth which is hidden and which has not been discovered yet. Now we shall move to the concept of the term research. Research is undertaken within most professions. More than a set of skills, research is a way of thinking. Research is examining critically the various aspects of our day-to-day professional works, understanding and formulating guiding principles that govern a particular procedure, and developing new theories for the enhancement of our practices. Research is a habit of questioning what we do and a systematic examination of the observed information to find the answers with a view to instituting appropriate changes for a more effective professional service. For example, suppose Hers is working as a head of an institution or as a teacher. As head or as a teacher of the institution, he might be interested in finding answer to theoretical questions are: what are the educational needs of the community? What are the strength and weakness of the institution? How can I improve quality education for my students? How satisfied are the parents with the service? What is the social economic background of my students? How can I inculcate moral values among the students? How can I maintain a good academic atmosphere in each class? How can I make a good rapport with students, parents and colleagues? How can I provide update knowledge to each and every student? What training do the teacher need, and so on? Research is one of the ways to help us to answer such question objectively. Research is more systematic activity that is directed toward discovery and the development of an organized body of knowledge. Also, research is the most important tool for advancing knowledge, for promoting progress and for enabling man to relate more effectively to his environment and to resolve his conflicts. The meaning and definitions of research have always been in a state of change depending upon the need of time, place and society. Here we shall discuss various definitions of the term research given by the experts in order to obtain a better understanding of its meaning. According to John Best, research is considered to be the more formal, systematic, intensive process of carrying on the scientific methods of analysis. It involves a more systematic structure of investigation, usually resulting in some sort of formal record of procedures and a report of conclusions. According to P.M. Cook, research is an honest, exhaustive, intelligent searching for facts and their meanings or implications with reference to a given problem. The procedure or findings of a given piece of research should be an authentic verification and contribution to knowledge in the field of studies. Now here, Cook has emphasized the following characteristic of research in his definition. The first characteristic in his definition, that is, it is an honest and exclusive process. The facts are studied with understanding. The facts are discovered in the light of the problem. The findings are valid and verifiable, and research work should contribute new knowledge in that field. Now we shall see the next definition given by Kurlinger. Kurlinger defines research as a systematic, controlled, empirical and critical investigation of hypothetical proposition about the preassumed relation about natural phenomena. In this definition, the term systematic, controlled, empirical and critical describes the characteristic of the scientific method. If we evaluate about three definitions, it can be concluded that the research has different meanings. Based on a systematic study of about definitions of research, we can bring out the characteristic of the term research. Now the first characteristic of research is systematic. This means that research is structured with specified steps to be taken in a specified sequence in accordance with the well-defined set of rules. The different steps cannot be taken in a haphazard way. Some procedure must follow others. Now the second characteristic of research is based on empirical evidences. This means that any conclusions drawn are based upon hard evidence gathered from information collected from real life experiences or observations. Next characteristic, research is controlled. In real life, there are many factors that affect an outcome. The concept of control implies that in exploring causality in relation to two variables, the researcher set up his study in a way that minimizes the effect of other factors affecting the relationship. This can be achieved to a large extent in a physical sciences, as most of the research is done in a laboratory. Now the fourth characteristic of research is rigorous. Researcher must be honest in ensuring that the procedure followed to find answer to questions are relevant, appropriate and justified. The next characteristic of research is verifiable. Means that whatever researcher concluded on the basis of his findings is correct and can be verified by him or others. Now the next characteristic of research is logical. This means that research is guided by the rules of logical reasoning and the logical process of induction and deduction, are of great value in carrying out research. Logical reasoning makes research more meaningful in the context of decision making. Now, the next, that is seventh characteristic of research, is generalizing the findings. This means research emphasizes the development of generalizations, principles or theories that will be helpful in predicting future occurrences. Now, eighth and last characteristic, important characteristic, that is research is a critical inquiry. This means that critical scrutiny of the procedures used and method employed is crucial to a research inquiry. The process of investigation must be foolproof and free from any drawbacks. The process adopted, the procedures used must be able to withstand critical security. The process adopted and the procedures used must be able to withdraw critical scrutiny. So, these are the important characteristics of research. Now, we shall discuss what is not research. Earlier just we have seen what is research. Now we shall see what is not research. Research is not simply restating the solution of the problem or an accidental discovery or searching out published research results in library or from the internet. Research is not to know unknown things without using the scientific method or simply collection or rearranging the data. Or research is not just to write a number of pages which constitute a thesis or dissertation for the research degree. So, this is about what is not research. Now, we shall move to the classification of research. Research is classified on the basis of its measure, intent or methods. So, based on the measure intent, the types of research, there are three types of research. Number one, pure or fundamental research. Second one is applied research, and third one is action research. Now, we shall discuss each of the above type in detail. What is pure or fundamental research? The pure or fundamental research is conducted for the purpose of developing scientific theories by discovering basic principles or broad generalization of a discipline rather than the purpose of solving some immediate problems. Pure research helps in developing general theories which will be helpful in solving many practical problems. For example, Maslow's theory of motivation serve as a guideline for formulating incentive schemes for employees in organization. Now, the second type of the research, that is known as applied research. The applied research focuses on analyzing and solving social and real life problems of human beings. The research which aims to solve an immediate practical problems is referred to as a applied research. The applied research is directed toward the solution of immediate and specific and practical problems. It is performed in relation to actual problems and under the conditions in which they are found in practice. The applied research is not as rigorous as that of basic research. Moreover, its findings are to be evaluated in terms of local applicability and not in terms of universal validity. Suppose, for example, we shall say, through applied research, researchers are often able to solve their problem at the appropriate level in the classroom teaching learning situation, whereas through the basic research, the researcher discovers general laws of learning and teaching. That is the difference between the last two types of the research. Now, the third type of research, that is action research. Action research play a major role in making every teacher and administrator responsive to solution of various kinds of problem and taking are active part in effective and efficient functioning of the school system. According to Corey, the process which practitioners attempt to study their problems scientifically in order to guide, correct and evaluate their decisions and actions is called action research. Action research does not emphasize on theory buildings. This is about three types of research. Now we shall discuss research methods. There are three methods of research. Number one, descriptive research. Second is experimental research, and third one is historical research. The descriptive research, it is a fact-finding investigation describing, recording, analyzing and interpreting conditions that exist. It helps to discover the relationship between existing non-manipulating variables. It gives a proper basis for understanding and solving current problems and guides in the planning and formulation of policies. Information may be collected through interview, questionnaire or observation. Several descriptive studies help to formulate government policies in solving certain problems. For example, evaluation of vaccination coverage among children and an insight of any event that occurred in the population. The second type, that is experimental research method. Experimental research is designed to assess the effect of a particular variables in a phenomena by keeping the other variable constant or controlled. It is the blueprint of the procedure that enables the researcher to test a hypothesis by reaching a valid conclusion about the relationship between independent and dependent variables. It aims at determining whether and in what manner variables are related to each other. For example, the impact of chemical fertilizer and organic manure on the yield of crops can be estimated. This is about experimental method. Now the last method, that is historical research method. The historical research method gives an exact knowledge of the past and enable one to interpret the future. It is the application of scientific method of inquiry to historical problems. In historical research, researchers critically investigate, record, analyze and interpret the past so that researchers may be able to find hidden facts which may be unable to understand the past as well as present, and if possible to predict or anticipate the future in the light of the past. This is about three important methods of research. Now we shall discuss qualitative research and qualitative method. What is qualitative research? The qualitative research is almost opposite to the well structured quantitative research. It is carried out more in a naturalistic manner with a holistic approach. The credibility of the qualitative research totally depends on the capabilities and experience of the qualitative researcher. He has to think reflective, historically and biographically in order to make connections among live experience in a given social and cultural context. He has to have his own strategies of data gathering approach, observation, unstructured questionnaires, interview schedule, available written records are some of them. Now we shall discuss the qualitative method. The qualitative method consists of three kinds of data collections. Number one, the in-depth open-ended interview. Number two, observation, and number three, analysis of written documents. The data from interview consists of quotations from people about their experiences, opinions, feelings and knowledge. The observation data consist of the detailed description of people's activity, behavioral actions, interpersonal interactions and organizational process. Document analysis yield experts, quotations, correspondences, publications and reports. The personal diaries and open-ended written responses to questionnaires. Now we shall discuss research for the social transformation in detail. What is social transformation? The social transformation implies a fundamental change in society which can be compared with the social change view as a gradual or incremental changes over a period of time. Now we shall discuss what are the social issues in India. India is an ancient country, and according to some estimates, Indians civilization is about 5,000 years of ago. Therefore, Indian society is a complex mix of diverse culture, people, beliefs and languages which may have come from anywhere about now is a part of this vast country. This complexity and richness give Indian society a unique appearance of a very vibrant and colorful culture country. The major social issues in India are. Now we shall see what are the major social issues in India. So we have listed major social issues in India. Number 1, unemployment, population explosion, illiteracy, child labor, poverty, malnutrition, dowry, corruption, alcoholism, religious violence, terrorism, drug abuse, gender issues, misuse of social networking, abortion, women's right, religious based discrimination, domestic violence against women, sexual violence against women, sexual harassment of women at workplace, etc. What are the reasons behind these social issues? Indian society is very rooted in a religious belief. There are people of different religious beliefs such as Hindus, Muslim, Jainis, Sikh, Parsis, etc. These all add to the social cultural varieties of the country. India's social problems are also rooted in the religious practices and beliefs of its people. Almost all forms of social issues and problems find their origin in religious and cultural practices of the people of India. These social problems are still continuing in one form or other. The fact remains that we have these issues and only we can solve them with the help of research. It is said that a good teacher may not be a good researcher, but a good researcher is always a good teacher. It means research and education are twins. Education aims to acquire the skills and knowledge for building a more sustainable society. Research enhances the continuous professional growth of the teacher and provide the students with marketable skills. It leads to improvement in teaching and learning situation and also develop the scientific attitude of objectivity, curiosity and critical outlook in the students. What kind of research is needed for social transformation? This is a very big question. The quality life of the people of any country largely rests on the quality of education and research. Research in higher education has a direct link with the upliftment of society as a whole. There is a need of qualitative research in large extent in order to solve the social issues in India. Now we shall discuss the characteristic of qualitative research which will be helpful in bringing about the social transformation. The first characteristic of qualitative research is naturalistic. It is constructed in a natural setting where behavior or event take place. For example, if a researcher wants to study the gender issues in a particular society, then he will go to the society and observe the different issues of genders in their natural context. This is the need of the hour. The second characteristic of qualitative research is uses inductive analysis. The qualitative method aim at exploration, discovery and inductive logic. In qualitative research, the researcher attempts to make sense of the situation without imposing pre-existing expectation on the phenomena. This type of research builds abstractions, concepts, hypotheses or theories rather than test existing theory. The third characteristic is direct personal contact. One of the important characteristics of qualitative research is that the researcher makes direct and personal contact with the people under study. This contact is made in two ways. The first, the researcher remains physically present with the people for a period of time. Second, he develops closeness by sharing their experiences and earning their confidence. In other words, the researcher becomes a part of the group, both physically and socially. For example, if a researcher wants to study the issues of malnutrition in a particular society, then he will have to remain physically present along with the people who are suffering from malnutrition of that society. The fourth characteristic of qualitative research, that is qualitative research, is holistic perspective. The qualitative research strives to understand the phenomena as a whole. For example, if we are studying the issues of religious violence in a society, then we will have to study these issues as a whole unit instead of breaking it in terms of different religious, namely Hindu, Muslim, Jainism, etc. Next characteristic is flexibility design. The decision of naturalistic qualitative research cannot be specified in advance. It must emerge, develop and unfold as the study progresses. The initial focus of the study plan for observations, interview and primary questions to be explored that can be decided by the researcher in advance. The last characteristic of qualitative research is that researcher is the primary instrument of data collection and analysis. Now we shall discuss the possible enablers for research excellence in social transformation. The country needs skilled and trained faculty and researchers for making India superpower in the world. For this, there are some possible enablers for improving research excellence in social transformation. The first enabler is industry and academy correlation. There should be a correlation between an industry and academia to ensure curriculum and skills are in the line with the requirements. Policies of higher education should be designed to strengthen the indigenous research agenda. We should be optimistic that private-public partnership and industry interface will take place in the field of research in higher education. This will be helpful in solving the social issues of employability. The second enabler is the incentive to teachers and researchers. Industry and students are expecting specialized courses to be offered so that they get the latest and best in education, and they are also employable. Incentives should be provided to teachers and researchers to make their professions more attractive to the younger generation. Bright scholar and researcher require motivation and the right attitude to carry on their work. The next enabler is professionally dedicated faculty. The lack of focus on research and development is undoubtedly one of the most important causes of insufficient achievement levels in India, particularly for social transformation. It is important for faculty members as they have many more responsibilities and commitment like teaching, serving on various committees within the institute and outside. Also interaction with the students and external people, etc. So faculty member should manage time efficiently for both teaching and research in social transformation. The fourth enabler is regular monitoring and evaluation. There should be regular monitoring and evaluation of research in the universities and other institutions. Monitoring and evaluation unit should be set up at state level, and for its effective functioning a statistical cell should be set up in each university in the state under the overall supervision of the monitoring and evaluation unit. For example, the government should channelize and evaluate research done by the NGOs. The fifth enabler is innovative research practices. The new technologies offer vast opportunity for progress in all walks of life. The efforts are required to improve the country's innovative capacity along with the efforts to improve the existing strength for the research innovation growth linkage. Innovative practices related to social reforms should be empirically tested and institutionalized. The sixth enables is to mobilize resources. Effective measures are vastly important to mobilize resources in the development of democracy, social justice and progress toward individual enlightenment. There is a need to enhance infrastructure facilities to utilize the output of research for the development of nation and social transformation. The sixth enabler is action plan for improving quality. Academia and administrative audit should be conducted once in 2 years in a college by external expert for ensuring quality in all aspects of education and social issues. The approach of doctoral research need to be more analytical and comparative and be related to society, policy and economy. For example, periodically once in a month they should sit together and think over the issues of society. The last enabler is high-tech libraries. Indian universities should concentrate more on providing excellent library facilities. Libraries should be fully equipped with the latest books, journals and periodicals related to the social issues of the society. A library must be online and helpful for research study. It should provide high quality e-books, e-reference book or e-research paper and e-content in different languages free of cost. Apart from these enablers, teachers should do research for the sake of knowledge, not for sake of money or simply degree. The curriculum should be made flexible with regards to research, and students should be given freedom to do research and it should not be compulsory. And the teachers are appointed with the objectives of teaching, research and extension work. And important, the workload is to be distributed according to the teaching hours research hours and extension hours. From the above discussion, we can say that the proper environment for research is not yet available in India. Creating a conducive environment is needed for the growth and utilization of research. For this, several issues have to be considered. These include adequate infrastructure, latest technology, skilled and trained manpower, institutional capacity and adequate financial supports, etc. Improving the quality of research related to social transformation in India, we have to identify some issues responsible for the quality deterioration and implement the remedies to achieve our goal. From the above discussion, we can say that the proper environment for research is not yet available in India. Creating a conducive environment is needed for the growth and utilization of research. For this, several issues have to be considered. These include adequate infrastructure, latest technology, skilled and trained manpower, institutional capacities and adequate financial supports, etc. Improving the quality of research related to social transformation in India, we have to identify some issues responsible for the quality deterioration and implementation the remedies to achieve our goal. Now the journey towards excellence in research for social transformation has begun and we are on the right track, but still a long way to go. In this session, we have discussed the most important source of knowledge, that is research and application of research in social transformation. I sincerely appreciate that I have had this opportunity to present to you. Thank you so much for your interest and attention.